What is the origin of the human being? How many humanities had existed? How old is the spirit? Is the origin of man as old as the origin of the earth? Billions and billions of years ago, ethereal, jelly, or oviparous humans had existed? Discover now the fascinating Theosophical Anthropogenesis.
Monkeys came from man. Are all primates descendants of man? The Theosophical Anthropogenesis. What is the origin of the human species? For some, the answer is biblical creationism, the story of Adam and Eve created by a self-conscious living God. For others, intelligent design, creation as the result of an abstract intelligence unconscious of itself, and, perhaps, for the majority of people, nowadays, the origin of humanity would be, must be, have to be the hypothesis of official science. The Darwinian evolutionism. The human being who emerges as result of an evolution of billions of years from enzymes and other non-living catalyst elements that structure itself, by chance, into an imaginary primary unicellular organism, the matrix of all forms of life known today. More recently, the Anunnaki of Nibiru or engineers of any alien race appeared as the biochemical manipulators who created humanity through genetic engineering practices. Theosophical Anthropogenesis. Few know Theosophical Anthropogenesis. Few know Theosophy. I will summarize. Theosophy is a school of thought developed from esoteric Buddhism, prior to the Buddhism of the famous Siddhartha Gautama or Buddha Sakyamuni. A Buddhism whose sacred scriptures are called stanzas of Dizian, or Xian. These stanzas or books of Dizian were disseminated in the West and East by the paranormal research work of the precursor of Theosophy, Mrs. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, who was born in Dnipro, Ukraine, in 1831 and died in 1878. Here, we say, paranormal research, because Madame Blavatsky's main sources, as she herself ever claimed, were the Akashic records, or Akashics. What means that, she accessed information directly in the astral light, in the memory of the universe, written memories, not visions of the past, although she also had them, but in the case of the Dzan stanzas, they were information written in books, so old that there is no record of a fragment or copy of them. If they still exist, they are hidden from Westerners in secret libraries, in monasteries located in remote places, such Tibet, Bhutan, India. Blavatsky spent her entire life claiming that the content of her vast work, her books, she read them on the plane of this universal memory, Akasha. Madame Blavatsky's anthropogenesis is something completely unthought before her. And this merit, no one can deny. We can talk about Blavatsky in another video, but here we go straight to anthropogenesis according to the secret doctrine of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. 1. Blavatsky agrees with an Earth evolving over billions of years but completely ignores the Big Bang theory. This theory did not exist during her lifetime. The Big Bang theory only appeared in the 20th century. Big Bang for this theosophist is the awakening of the Creator. Reality is a timeless cycle of falling asleep and waking up of the Creator divinity of all things. When Atman Brahma awakens, things come into existence. When Atman Brahma falls asleep, everything that exists withdraws into him and remains latent in him. These are the days and nights of Brahma. 2. About the origin of the earth and the human being. In the anthropogenesis of the secret doctrine, the human being origin is simultaneous or contemporary to cosmogenesis, that is, man is as old as the world he inhabits, assuming different biophysical chemical structures and also different levels of mental capacity and self-consciousness. As different as the stages of formation of this planet. From the cloud of flaming dust and gas going through long stages of densification to the materiality known today. Each significant stage of condensation on the planet is around the spinning, a turn in the transcendental space of the existential planes of the theosophical universe to which corresponds a type of earth, and for each round, a different human race, forever, in an eternal change process driving the reality, to nowhere or to the next Brahma's asleep, when everything will leave to be and exist. The human races from the past to the present are. First human race. In the beginning, men were mere shayas or shadows slowly taking on unstable humanoid form. They reproduced by itself, by bipartition, like amoebas but being less material than an amoebas. Their bodies didn't have bones, they are the ones so-called, the without bones, yes, bonesless, who, in their evolution stage, were creatures deprived of defined forms with their ghostly fluid bodies. The second human race were the gelatinous giants, oviparous creatures that frequently exuded corporeal matter, reproducing themselves by themselves through the involuntary exchange of these scaly bodily fluids deposited in the soil or water. These creatures were described as the descendants of sweat. Then came the prototypes of what are called the third human race. These ones are the early Lemurians, denser and still with coarse anatomy. At that time, reproduction became mixed, partly involuntary oviparous, partly voluntary oviparous, and finally, with the densification of bodies and the differentiation of the sexes, viviparous reproduction emerged. It was only the seventh and last subrace or seventh evolution period of the Lemurians that the human beings began to have more solid and defined physical structure. The evolution of individualization, densification and improvement of bodies and minds resulted in the fourth race, the Atlantean race, beautiful, elegant, endowed with advanced technologies mixed with paranormal powers, and even so, it collapsed into an irremediable decadence that resulted in us, the fifth race, Homo sapiens. All races prior to the current one produced giant individuals. Each significant stage of condensation on the planet is around, the spinning, a turn in the transcendental space of the existential planes of the theosophical universe to which corresponds a type of Earth, and for each round, a different human race, forever, in an eternal change process driving the reality, to nowhere or to the next Brahma's asleep, when everything will leave to be and exist till the next Brahma awake. Many researchers, who probably have not read Blavatsky's work, consider her writings like they are in concordance with Darwinism, and this is the central point of this video study. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky was never a Darwinist. The opposite is the truth. While Darwin imagined that today's human being is a displaced branch of a family of primates that has never been found, Blavatsky claims the opposite. Theosophical Anthropogenesis describes an oviparous humanity but ever human even in the mixture of undefined genetic materials from which all superior animals emerged. Those that failed to survive were the monsters of antiquity, hybrids with a half-human, half-animal appearance that all world mythologies described, centaurs, fauns, mermaids, mermen, cynocephalians, dog or wolf head, and cyclops among the best known. Let's look at some quotes from the secret doctrine, Anthropogenesis. The occult doctrine states that, in the current era, mammals were produced by evolution after man. Occultism therefore repudiates the idea that nature gave rise to man by descent from the monkey or from an ancestor common to both, but states that, on the contrary, some anthropoid species came from man of the third race, remnants of the Lemurians, in the first Atlantean period, fourth race. In the transitions between eras and suberas, intermediate races and races coexist with each other. Abrupt changes never occur. The true course of evolution differs from that pointed out by Darwin, and the two systems are irreconcilable, unless Darwinism is divorced from the dogma of natural selection and similar ones. This primitive man was a man only in external form. He had no mind or soul when he bred with a female monster from the animal world, the predecessor of a series of primates. I have no idea what those of you who have watched this video so far or clicked on key points in the index, I don't know what you think of Blavatsky's anthropogenesis, but before anyone thinks this video is a sign that this channel supports the theosophical theory, I'll clarify right away, no. Blavatsky's entire secret doctrine is a very interesting, although quite complex, literary work. There are 6 volumes of The Secret Doctrine alone and 4 more in the ISIS Unveiled series. I do not like this hypothesis like being a truth. As an answer to the essential questions capable of guiding a good and clean life, it adds absolutely nothing. It also does not answer the basic questions of the existential abyss: what we are, who we are, where we came from, where we are going, what is the meaning of life. Complex doctrines are not accessible to the people and almost always lead nowhere, but there was someone who came into this world to say the essentials and what really matters in a simple way. And he said things that everyone can understand. I, the editor of this channel, have always trusted more in the simple, direct and sometimes harsh but true language. The language of the gentle and metaphysical shepherd of Galilee, a language that not even the most prominent occultists of Western high magic have dared to criticize, and even Blavatsky avoided disqualify.
At that time Jesus answered and said, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and understanding, and revealed them to little ones.
Matthew 11 verse 25.
So, what do you think of Theosophical Anthropogenesis? Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you liked the video, don't forget to press the button.